Hey guys, welcome to Let's Talk Guild Wars 2. This is episode 6, and today we're talking about PvP and PvP leagues. So, as everyone's been fully aware and enjoying so far, PvP leagues have been out for about a week, almost a week. Yeah, pretty much a week, almost a little bit less than a week since Tuesday. It's been kind of cool, you know, you got all the, you got your little pips, and you got your little divisions and tiers, you got your, the legendary back piece to work towards. A cool thing, right? However, there are a few things that I've been, and not just me, but a bunch of other people have been aware of that kind of make PvP leagues a little less, just a little underwhelming than it really is, and kind of frustrating overall. I'll go over a few things today in the video. Also, a bit of news at the end of the video that I want to talk about. It's really important, that has to do with the channel. Nothing like channel changing, but mainly has to do with the set of videos I want to do to help people out in the game. Well, we'll talk about that later. First thing I want to talk about is the ranking system. So we have these pips, right? We have these little pips, and we have a little sapphire rank, we have ruby rank, we have emerald, ember, whatever, and unfortunately, none of it really means that much. We go, I hate to compare this game to other games, but League of Legends is another game that has a league system, if you might want to say, and it does do it by, different rankings and stuff, and it's done it pretty well. I mean, you have to say that, League of Legends was out way before Guild Wars 2, and it's been doing this sort of thing for a long time. You can make that argument, but something that I really wish that ANA had looked at was how other companies, other games do their ranking systems, because they seem to always try to do it themselves and never get it right. These pips that we have, the tiers and divisions don't mean a whole lot, because really it's just a bunch of grinding. And I hate to say that, and I'm not one to always say that about this game, but in this instance, in PvP, it is a whole just ton of grinding. Mainly because the fact that you never lose much for losing, or you never win much for winning either. It's kind of like, they want this kind of push and pull kind of feel when it comes to winning and losing, but it doesn't really feel that way. Your wins feel very arbitrary, and your losses feel very awful half the time, because you're either pitted up against guild teams, or you're put with people who are less skilled than you and don't know what the heck they're doing. So one of the things that I wish that the leagues had done for the game was allowed people to be more separable in PvP. I know that sounds awful, but I really wish that they had implemented something like maybe dividing up division, making you lose divisions is an important part of going through PvP. Win and loss ratios are a big important part, especially their MMR, right? Since that's the system we were using, and a lot of games use that system. MMR has been a big thing throughout all the games that do ranked queues and things like that. Unfortunately, with the way that the leagues work and the way that they kind of separate us, it's not really helping much, because they try to put you in with people in your league. But however, the people who are in your league, people just kind of go through it, because you can lose pips if you lose, right? You can lose tiers at Ruby. So you have tiers, you have pips, tiers, and divisions. So pips give you points towards tiers, and the tiers give you points towards divisions. And once you have all the pips and all the tiers, you get to the next division. So, but you can't lose divisions until you're, I think, legendary. I'm not really sure you can even lose divisions in legendary either when you go past legendary 1. So it really doesn't divide up the people properly, so that you're put up against people your same skill level. And yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect. You're gonna get people who are still kind of wonky and weird, but I really think that way it would be a little bit more rewarding for people who are winning, and a little bit more punishing for those who are not doing as well as you. So like guild teams, especially, who don't do well, they'd be stuck down at the bottom, and people who are doing really well go to the top. And another thing that I was talking with a friend of mine, he suggested that maybe there should be a different algorithm for how, a bit more consequence for when you win. So when you're consistently winning, you are rewarded better by getting more pips or staying in the division or something like that. I think that there should be a bit more complexity to the league system overall. It just seems very simple and doesn't really do much. It just tells you, I have this many pips, or I'm Ruby, that's how many pips I got. and it just kind of looks silly, kind of. Another thing is that there's no solo queue or duo queue. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like it's just ranked. And I wish they had separated that out. You know, baiting a solo queue for people who don't want to bait, who can't get into teams, because getting into teams is very difficult right now. It's always been difficult ever since like a couple years ago. Just when all the really great teams just left the game, and now it's just a few left, and some of them are back, but no one really wants to like invite new people into teams. So it's really difficult for people who just solo queue, because you get put up against guild teams a lot of the times. Like I solo queue, and that's pretty much all I get is like teams of 4 or 5 going in against me with a solo queue team, and it's really frustrating to kind of slam your head into a wall. And there's no carrying for that either, because they're more coordinated than you are, no matter how good your players are. So it kind of frustrates the heck out of me and other players. And also another thing I wish was changed is the fact that guild teams are not, and I think a lot of other people, Guild Wars YouTubers and other people on Twitter have been saying this, that guild teams should be separate from the PvP leagues. PvP teams, like PvP teams and guild teams, should be separate, and that was one of the big problems that has occurred. Like a lot of guild teams are just teams like Dirt and some other teams like that, making just multiple teams, and they just keep going up the tips and get those rewards and stuff. It's just like flooding the gates, flooding the leaderboards full of, you know, missed initiative and all those things like that. So it's kind of like, okay, so no one else gets a top because it's just flooded with all high tier teams. Oh boy. So that's all we see all the time if you look at the leaderboards. So they're trying to put into it in a decay system for that. Maybe that'll work, maybe it won't. I just wish there was just one PvP team or one guild team, and that was it. Like, just one. And if you want to make another one, you just make a new guild. So, another thing that I personally wish was different now, if they implemented like divisions, like you lost division losses if you lose too much and things like that, they should take out the legendary stuff, from the legendary rewards from that. They should take legendary rewards away from PvP leagues, put them into a reward track. That's really the legendary back piece is just the time gate. You're just playing games to get the back piece. That's all. And really, that's what reward tracks are. You're just playing games to get the rewards. Just put the back piece onto a reward track, and then you can have your leagues without any sort of like feeling like you're losing too much. PvPers just want, and this is a consensus I think for many of like hardcore PvPers, they just want that prestige from having that rank. You know, they want to have that prestige of like, I got to Emerald, or I got to Sapphire, Ruby, or Diamond, or Legendary, and it feels special because I worked hard to get there. It doesn't feel good because right now it doesn't really, it's not that hard work to get there. You just kind of grind it out and keep going, and then you just, because you can't lose divisions, I'm stuck in Diamond for a little while. Or another thing is some players are tanking their MMR by playing with really bad players, like you're solo queuing, like a Diamond player solo queuing with Amber players to tank their MMR to continue playing with bad players so they can carry the game and win more to get more tiers and more pips and stuff like that. So this is some really wonky stuff going with PvP leagues that doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem proper for a league system like this. And I really hope that Arena looks at it again after this first season and starts saying, okay, we need to do this, this, and this to make sure that the league system feels good, gives prestige, and it isn't too wonky with how it assigns players to teams in the solo queue. And maybe make a solo queue button. Come on, make a solo queue button. Everyone's been wanting it for so long. Make this damn solo queue button. Really, I praise Internet for a lot of things, but this is one thing that I just like, come on. Everyone has a solo queue button. In every game that has something like this, make a solo queue button. Or solo duo queue button, so that people can play together, at least. If you want people to play together, do that. And then maybe keep the ranked on one side and solo queue on another, just do that. And if you're arguing with me about the legendary back piece stuff, if you're like, oh, but they wanted you to be able to, the people who play more get to get it faster, and people who don't play as much, you have to get it slower. If you put in a reward track, it accomplishes the same thing. People who don't play as often will get it faster. The reward tracks work in fact, the PvP leagues are basically a glorified reward track, because that's all people are doing is going for the back piece. That's all it counts for. It doesn't count for much right now. I mean, I don't know about legendary, but you only need to get to diamond to make the precursor, and that's it. Then you just need to like play 3 games a day and get your achievements, and then for next season you have to do the same thing, get all of your achievements, play 3 games a day, and then you're done. That's all you really need to do. Once you get the precursor, it's like, okay, fine. I don't even need to care about leagues anymore. I just need to play games. So that's just put it in a reward track. Make divisions, losable. I mean, like make them. You can lose them. If you lose, you can, and make winning feel better. Also, the stupid like win advantage thing, I feel like it feels very like real awful when you're put up against like it feels really bad for guild teams, and it feels really bad for solo queuers, because you could be a solo queuer and your team, based on some random number, your solo queue team has a higher advantage over this guild team, right? And this guild team pub stomps. They just stomp you because they have better coordination than you do. You lose like 2 or 3 pips because you were supposed to win that game, right? Oh, but wait, my one Guardian or Necro kept going far all the time and dying, and we were always 4v5 in the mid, and we lost it all the time, and we couldn't keep home because we had to send 2 people back to go, and stuff like that happens all the time. All the freaking time. Don't, this system, that particular system is really unforgiving when it comes to some things. And you know what? On the opposite side, for guild teams who are have a hard time against, something like, for guild teams, like, you're supposed to win sometime. You're supposed to win. You have an advantage, but you lose 2 pips, and you win, and you gain 1 pip. And then the other team loses, and they gain 1 pip? I've lost and gained pips, which makes no sense whatsoever. But it's whatever. So that's a little rant about PvP leagues. I'm not gonna like go on a huge rant. Those are like the little bits of things that I wanted to talk about PvP leagues. I'm not gonna go into a huge rant about it because there really isn't that much to say about it. Those are the things that need to be fixed. Those are the things that are wrong with the PvP leagues. There's a lot of things right with it. I think it adds in a particular like kind of fun aspect to the game. This just needs some tuning up, and some things need to be fixed around, and maybe some like really big changes to PvP balance, which I will go on in another video. Not in this video. It's not about PvP balance class-wise. This is just about PvP leagues. We'll keep it there. The other thing I want to talk about here at the end of the video is that I am starting a new series on the channel. It's going to be started up probably this week or next weekend. I'm going to be going home for Christmas, but I'm taking my computer with me, so I'll be able to do videos while I'm home. But the series is going to be PvP 101. We're going to be going step by step through the process of a match. And we're going to be talking about the different things that, what one should think about, what one should do at the beginning, how to go through, solo queue by yourself, what you should be doing as a player to help your team, even though you can't communicate with each other. Those kinds of things I want to talk about, because it seems like a lot of players, even experienced players who think they know what they're doing and are solo queuing, seem to do things kind of strangely. Like the other night there's these 2 Guardians. I don't even know if they were teamed up. It didn't say they were teamed up together, but they both went far at the beginning of the game and died to 1 person, and we lost the mid fight, and the whole game was ruined because we couldn't keep the mid fight going. So things like that are really frustrating when you think, okay, I kind of, as a player who's played a long time, I know what to do. I'd like to impart my knowledge to you guys and help you out and make you, maybe help other players understand how to go through the process of understanding what to do at certain points of the game, and on different maps, and even class-wise, what you should be thinking about and positioning yourself and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll help you guys. Look forward to that. Streaming also, look forward to that as well. At some point, I've been doing streaming a little bit as school ended, so look forward to that. Keep it up. I'll keep you posted, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!